All right, well, good morning, guys. Welcome back to the channel. So for today's video, I wanted to let you guys know what it's been like living with my modified cut top flat bottom steering wheel for the last few days. So I've been using this wheel for the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 days now, and I've really gotten used to it. So a couple of things that were asked. One is to show you guys hand over hand. So I'm in a parking lot right now, so typically I just slide my hand around, but typical normal hand over hand would be done in this way or in that manner. So you can see it's a little bit different. If you think about it while you're doing it, it's not hard, but you do definitely have to think about it in order to, in order to make sure that you're not fumbling your way around. A couple people had asked about, do I ever, go to grab for the top and miss it? Not while driving, but I do. I found that I would look over. I had a habit of looking over to my clipboard when I was parked, and I grabbed the steering wheel to kind of situate myself, scoop myself in the seat with my left hand. And one time I got in the car, was looking over at my clipboard, and went to grab the wheel to pull myself on the seat, and the wheel was missing there. So yes, there is that aspect of it missing, but it's a benefit and a drawback. I like having it clear there. I like not having my line of sight broken by that. I like being able to see the dash. The vent is right there, and there's no obstruction to that then. So I do like the look of it. I like the flat bottom. I actually like the flat bottom even more than the cut top. Now, I know there are a couple of people online, at least one YouTuber, that cut the top on his and left the bottom curved. Well, I like the cut top, but I really, really like the flat bottom. And now, unfortunately, it's easy to cut the top. It's really hard to flatten the bottom. So cutting the top was less than 10% of the work, maybe 5% of the work cutting the top. 95% of the work was flattening the bottom. So to just flatten the bottom and leave a curved top, that's 95% of the work. So so it's easier if you want to modify a wheel to just cut the top and leave the bottom round. But the biggest thing I really love, and I mentioned this in a previous video, but just the flat bottom, being able to rest my hands there, has been wonderful, absolutely wonderful. And so it's a very comfortable way to, especially on the expressway and autopilot, it's wonderful. This is comfortable. I just lay my hands here and I can let the car do its thing, and it's far more comfortable than with a curved wheel, because with a curved wheel your hands are at a weird angle and they want to slide down. With this, they lay flat, and this is a nice softly padded Alcantara section. So I love the sort of Formula One feel, or fighter jet, whatever feel to it. I love that. I have gotten used to it. When I first put the wheel on, I thought it was really cool just because it was new and it was neat. Well, the first day of using it, I thought, do I miss a round steering wheel? I thought, was this just done for vanity's sake? Do I actually enjoy it, or am I just telling myself I do, but I really miss the round wheel? Well, I'll say it like this. I've gotten used to it to the point where I don't want a round wheel in this car again. That being said, though, when I get into our other cars, like driving the BMW, I like having a round wheel. But it's funny, a round wheel, even if it's the same diameter as this is the stock 14-inch diameter, this still has the stock width of that. It's just 10 inches or so high. When I get into another car with a 14-inch diameter wheel, it feels huge because it's 14 inches top and bottom and side to side, rather than this is 14 inches side to side and 10-inch top to bottom. So I will say I like a round wheel. So for instance, in our BMW, that car still has a round wheel, obviously, and my wife's Ford has a round wheel. I like it, but here's the thing: it suits those cars. The BMW has an an overhanging dash, and so does my wife's Ford. The gauges are right in front of the wheel. Cutting the top on one of those wheels really would be a useless, futile exercise, because you've still got the gauge binnacle and dash right there. So why would you cut the wheel? There's no benefit to it. You have the occasional inconvenience of no wheel top, and it hasn't opened up your line of sight to anything. So I'd say that I can't see myself ever cutting the top on a steering wheel in any of my other cars, but I can also say I really can't see myself going back to a round wheel in this car. And again, this steering wheel is awesome primarily because there's no gauge binnacle in front, so it's nice having this open and hollow. Plus you can mount something in front of you, and I have a really cool product I'm going to be testing here within the next week or so that will be mounted right in front of the wheel. Keep your eyes open for that. Super excited about that. But the fact that there's nothing in front of the wheel makes a cut top a really great thing. The flat bottom, though, I think universally for pretty much any car, a flat bottom is awesome. I've never had a car with a flat bottom wheel before, and I'm starting to understand the usefulness of it. Now this is drastically flattened. I flattened it so that the steering column, there's an equal height from the steering column and depth. So I wanted the wheel to look symmetrical. So normally a flattened wheel would only be flattened maybe an inch. This is flattened 2 inches or whatever it is, 2 or 2.5 inches, to make it look symmetrical. I flattened it to that point. And with a normal round wheel, that might look a little odd, and the hand-over-hand thing with this much flattened wheel, it lends a lack of symmetry to it while you're spinning the wheel. So I think a 1-inch flattened bottom wheel would be ideal for most sports cars, just to give a little bit of leg clearance. This is awesome, though. In fact, part of me is I'm considering doing something else to the car related to this low flat bottom wheel that if I do it, you'll see a video on that coming up at another time. But I love the fact that, especially with a car that has autopilot, you want the least wheel in front of you possible. And so it is really nice having much less visual obstruction. And I'm super excited to get my screen lowered and angled again. Just be a few more days and I'll have that mount installed again, and that will set the car to exactly the way I want it. But I will say that over a period of owning this wheel now and using it, it is it's awesome. I'm really glad I did it. It is imperfect. It was difficult for them to upholster. They tried it. They made numerous coverings for it. I think they said 6 different coverings to get it just right. Some of the areas where they tucked it in, you can look and see slight imperfections, and that it was a difficult design. So there is a certain sense to this wheel that it's not as razor perfect as the original wheel, because it's the only one that's been made. I did the mechanical work, and then the covering was done a one-off by hand thing. So there's some character to the wheel that the stock wheel doesn't have in that regard. I do love the stitching on the back, the red stitching. It's just, overall, it's I don't know, it's good to have, and living with it is not a problem at all. Again, the first day I started to question, the first full day I used it throughout the entire day, maybe the first couple days, I started to question, do I like it? Do I want to go back to a round wheel? Should I just sell it to someone that really wants it and go back to a round wheel? And I got to tell you, if I sold this wheel, I would instantly make myself another wheel, because for this car in particular, for the Tesla Model 3, a cut top flat bottom wheel like this, to my eye, my driving style and taste, and for what I feel that this car should be, this steering wheel is perfect. And it was very easy to get used to using it. So I love it. There's almost no difference in, it's not dangerous in any way, not that I've found. Other people may disagree. Someone else may drive the car and say, I hate this, I hate it. But for me, it's wonderful. Again, I love, being able to lay one or both hands on this flat bottom section, and you know, so that's my take on it. Hope you guys you know, like the content. If you have any suggestions, let me know. I do know the steering wheel is a polarizing item. I knew that when I made it. I knew there'd be people that hate it and people that love it. I've had a number of requests to do a video on the Alcantara dash, just a standalone video, and I'll go ahead and shoot that for you guys, show you how to remove that dash section, and I'll give you a brief description of what the upholsterer told me he went through in upholstering it. So anyway, thanks a lot, guys. Go ahead and give me a thumbs up, and like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. I'm going to do my best to upload. I'd love to upload a video every single day, but I'd say probably 20 videos a month. So a couple videos, you know, a couple days in a row, then skip a day. And I've got a lot of ground I want to cover, a lot of cool ideas, and just a number of commentaries for things that are going on in the channel. As I mentioned in the community tab, and also alluded to in another video, I'm buying another EV for the channel. I'll give you a hint. It's just a standard short-range EV, and it's used. It's not brand new, but we wanted a spare car for the family, and a car that my 16-year-old son could drive, and what better vehicle than a used EV? So I'm excited about that, because I'll be able to do some comparisons on a very inexpensive short-range EV in comparison to a more premium EV like the Model 3. Efficiency, you know, MPGe comparisons and all that, and so I'm excited to do videos on that car coming up as well. So keep your eye on the channel, guys. I've got some interesting things coming up. I know my channel is different from most, but that's fine. I'm not trying to be a cookie cutter channel. I'm trying to give you guys the perspective of just a normal guy living day to day with an EV, and my thoughts on that. So anyway, thanks a lot, you guys. Have yourselves a wonderful day now. Take it easy.